Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. We are looking at some interesting price action happening today, and I think the main culprit for that is the DXY, the dropping of the dollar, which we have seen take a sharp turn on the 4-hour. So here it is, reaching the top of the 4-hour stochastic, also this massive line of support and resistance. It's almost like a double top formation here. It looks like it wants to head towards the midline of the 4-hour. Now, if we want to go and check the shorter time frames, the 1-hour seems to have been pushed down to the bottom of the range. I'm trying to get the levels for the day for the traders reality. Sometimes it glitches, but the point is that there has been a sharp lift in all of the coins, all of the three coins this morning. All of the coins that I'm looking at, BTC, ETH, and XRP, they all made a sharp turn, and I believe that is because the dollar dropped. So it takes more dollars to buy the same coin. So with that happening this morning, we saw a sharp turn up. Now the 4-hour trend looks set to push down on the stochastic. It has found the support of the daily open. So you see, here's where it's getting really interesting TA wise, because I think we're going into the parameters of the inverse correlation between the coins and the dollar. The DXY has found support on the daily open, whereas most of the coins are finding resistance at the daily open. Now I'm going to switch to all of them, and I'll show you that resistance that I'm talking about. What we need to see here for continuation is the DXY breaking that daily open, breaking the pivot point downwards, and heading into the low average daily range M1 and M0 levels of support. So if we are to see that, we'll probably see a triple top formation on ETH and BTC, and I will point it out on the 1-hour levels. So that is what I'm watching for at the moment. It is the middle of the middle. Like you can see, it's choppy sideways for the DXY, and it is choppy sideways for BTC and ETH, and even more so XRP, that is particularly spiky these days. So I'm looking to see if we're gonna get the breaking of this daily open, or if on the flip side it's gonna hold for support and gonna turn up. At the moment, we don't have any 1-hour structure for support on the DXY. We have the 5 crossing down over the 200 EMA on the 1-hour, which is not good. Trading underneath the 200 EMA on the 1-hour is quite bearish. It's one of the first bearish signals on the short time frames. And we have been having it for a long time, but we caught a little bit of a breather last night, and last night was when the coins were going down. So of course, because the dollar was going up, the coins were going down. So that's what happened. But now we see the opposite. So what we need to see here is some 1-hour structure on the daily open. I'm not gonna even change to the 15-minute because it's the DXY. It doesn't we don't need to go into that level of detail. That would be, again, 15-minute swings. It won't be helping us get a better view. It might actually add a little bit of confusion. So what we need to see is a 1-hour structure along the daily open for the DXY, for the coins to keep pushing down. If the DXY breaks the daily open and breaks the pivot point here, then we're looking at the coins making a triple top formation. Let's have a look at the S&P and see where it closed on Friday. So as you can see, the S&P closed doing a higher high, a local higher high here. I'm going to change to the day. So it did a higher high. It closed on a very, very strong green candle, Now, whether this is a 1-2 for the push down or a B for the push down, at the moment we don't know. We need to break the previous high in order to confirm this lift towards a higher top. Now we are sideways between these two pink lines. We are sideways. We are consolidating at level 2. The daily is in the overbought on the stochastic momentum, which is the immediate momentum, but the regular RSI is still going up, and it still has space to go up. There's no point denying that, and we could see a continuation of this rally once New York opens. Now, you know that I like to see that the Friday final move is going to be continued on Monday. I believe that might be the case. So we need to see what's going to happen. At the moment, it is continuous sideways, and it has been so for the past 5 months. November, this local high here could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need to see the breaking here at 41.99. A higher high could consolidate this and give it strength to lift out of this sideways into the peak formation space. So breaking the pink line is breaking it back into the peak formation space, which opens it out for a higher high. Now I'm gonna start the weekly analysis with Ethereum because it's the clearest. Is the clearer between a BTC and ETH. It's holding right here at the peak formation support and resistance line. And it is holding while having the stochastic on the daily turned up. The MACD is turned down. There is a bearish divergence on the daily, but it could still continue upwards. It is holding all the necessary support to continue upwards. It's holding the 20. It backtested the 20 EMA. It held it, which again makes it for a sustainable lift. And it's holding this trend line here as well. So it is continuing to lift up. We don't have a daily higher high. Having a daily higher high would make it stronger for a lift towards the 2022 level. The 2022 level would be breaking into the peak formation, the same phenomenon that I was telling you about the S&P. Breaking into that opens the possibility for a higher high, and we are basically changing the trend into a bullish trend. We don't yet have that. We don't have that space open, and if we are looking at how we close the weekly, we closed it well above 55 EMA, but at the moment the weekly is having this rounded top formation. It could still do a higher high like it did here. The weekly also backtested the 20, which makes it very, very sustainable for a lift to continue, but we're still looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there have been three clear steps up on the weekly. So we might be in for a correction. Bottom line here is we are holding support to continue to the upside, but we haven't yet corrected this swing, and we haven't yet made it into a strong, sustainable swing on the bigger time frames. What we would need to do so is another correction down to the 20 EMA on the weekly, and I'll show you on the 1 day because it's a little bit more clear. So this is the point of control at 1570. If we are to come down here and consolidate, then we would be building a little bit more liquidity to lift up. At the moment, it's looking quite suspicious to me because correlated to the DXY, I would say that this lift this morning is artificial. not a little, is artificial, because we don't have, and it is because of the DXY. So we don't have yet the technical support holding that we would need for that sustainability. And what I mean by that is on the 4-hour levels, what we had was a nice dropping here below the nice drop here below the 55 EMA, and then all of a sudden it all lifted with a sharp rounded bottom formation on the 4-hour. So how can I say it? If the DXY hadn't dropped so suddenly last night, I don't know if this had happened. So I don't think if this would have happened. So it brought us from the middle of the range right close to the top of the range, but this is the feature of this sideways. It's coming quite short from different levels of support and resistance, both for BTC and ETH. For instance, here was a level of support and resistance, like a midline. ETH hit it very nicely, but you will see when I switch over to BTC, it didn't. Now it's coming up to the level of resistance. What's going to happen there, we have yet to see. The 4-hour stochastic is lifting up, the daily is lifting up, the 1-hour is looking a little bit exhausted. We need to see whether that will have the strength to push it down or not. Before I do the possible trades for this week for ETH, I want to look at the levels. I want to look at the 50 MA on the 4-hour. Now, when this happens, this is generally a bear trap. For instance, the way it happened here. Oh no, sorry. My eyes. I woke up with tired eyes. So the way it happened here. So such a swift drop below the 50 and the swift recovery usually signifies a bear trap. The 50 is one of those MAs where market makers love organizing bear traps along because of how it translates on different time frames. So we would be right now in for something along these lines, a higher high, if this bear trap continues, unless, and that's a big if, that's what makes it so confusing. You have probably seen on the chats that I am holding back from taking any position at the moment in BTC. I am looking at restarting to trade ETH for now, and I wouldn't be taking any position for now in either of them. Once I decide on a position or a swing for an entry point, I will let you know on the chat. But at the moment, the way I'm reading the charts is quite ambiguous, and I am holding back from putting a position in because it's in the middle of the middle. Like it's facing some resistance but hasn't yet met the support that I'm anticipating, the 200 on the 4-hour. That's the level that I would be taking along from if I see a 1-hour double bottom. But at the moment, I am not seeing that. I'm seeing middle of the middle, possible bear trap. So I will be patiently waiting. There's nothing wrong with waiting. No position is also a position, and it keeps my capital safe and ready for when things are clearer. Here's where traders get decimated, in this choppy sideways, because we're taking positions, we're allowing our mind to get busy, and we start getting attached to the trades because we see so many ups and downs. So it's impossible for the mind not to take a position after watching it for so long. So the mind can take a position. I believe that we are in the middle of a fake bear trap, if that makes sense. It has been generated by the DXY. I'm still waiting for a drop to the support line to to take a position. Now that is my mind position, but I haven't acted on that. So we can have a higher probability trade in mind, but it doesn't mean that we have to act on it. So just to summarize it and to place it in a trade setup for us to be watching, I'll be doing both trade setups, the 2 immediate trades that I see. Of course, I'll keep you up to date if I see any more possible trade setups. But the first one is we're dropping down to the 1700 support and resistance line, and that's where I'm looking to take a long position and break it into 2. Actually, this would be the first one. So here's where I would be taking the first position. Long on double bottom structure on the 1 hour along the 200 MA on the 4 hour, or the 1700 region. Now I am again at the moment, because of all this sideways, I'm looking at 1680 and 1700, which is quite a $20 means a lot for ETH. We will have to wait and see what that's gonna do. So here's where, and I'm gonna leave it like that. So that would be the first trade. Trade 2 would be the opposite. If we're breaking this support and resistance line at 17, you know what? No, I'll take that back, because the second one, the second higher probability would be long on holding the 1830 level. So that would be the second highest probability, and that would be the third and the lowest probability as it's looking right now, because of how strong the daily is. But remember, it could be a fake bear trap. It could look like it's catching bears out, but in fact it's catching bulls out. So we'll have to see. Short on breaking the 1700 level. Of course, break and a retest. No need to tell you that. We've been a year at this together, so I know I don't have to tell you that. But at the moment, where we are right now, could you short from the top here? If you see on the 1 hour, if you see a short position, yes, you could. I am at the moment in a short in XRP, started last night. So at the moment I am watching one trade. I'm not particularly looking to open another position in this direction. But again, this could be another option. Double top at resistance, a short-term option. Okay, so these would be the two options that we have short term. We would have a short from the resistance. We don't have yet any structure, but I'm mentioning it because we could have some structure, and it percentage wise it is worth mentioning it. So we need to see what's happening here on the 1 hour, if it is going to push down, or on the contrary, if it is going to continue and lift. Okay, I need to make this a little bit tighter. There we go. Okay, it is a range worth trading up and down. It's 6%. Even if you're making 60% of that, it's 40% up and down. So 40% up and down is great. It will keep you guessing up and down. So it's up. I personally don't enjoy trading that, and I don't trade it on multiple coins because it's mentally demanding. Watching multiple coins do sideways at the same time, so I choose XRP because it has a wider range and it's a bit more generous. But once the this stalemate breaks in ETH and BTC, I am looking at taking some positions, but I need to wait. At the moment, there are things happening with the DXY. I was listening to something connected to Arbitrum, so you might want to look into that as well if you're a fundamentalist. Personally, I'm not. But yeah, apparently there is there's some shady, dodgy movements in terms of funds there. So, and they're talking about level 2 coins being under scrutiny. So these are the possible trade setups for ETH. Just to sum it all up, we have two possibilities: short term for a short position if we see any double top. If we don't see any double top for the 1 hour, we let this continue down, because this is probably being a back test. We let this continue down and we watch to see if we have any double bottom formations. We will have a look at the news at the end of the analysis, because I should have started with that, but I'll tell you what the red flag days are, because I believe the sideways is also connected to some fundamentals and some news that's about to come out this week in the States, of course. So that's what we have for ETH. I'll be posting these in the chats after I'm done editing this recording, and I'll chat to you if you have any questions in the chat. Let's move on to BTC. BTC closed the month with a beautiful green candle, and the stochastic on the month is heading up. On the weekly as well, we have a green candle. However, these do not look like strong weekly candles. The stochastic is maxed out. On the daily, we have the stochastic turning down. So that's why I started with ETH, because ETH was looking a little bit more determined to continue upwards, but BTC has that contradiction between the weekly and the daily. ETH has both of them up, so it's looking a little bit stronger. On the 4 hour MAs, we see the same structure. Like it's unbelievable the way ETH and BTC are going hand in hand, literally making the same moves along the same MAs. So I'm looking at this. BTC has had only this bear trap, I would say. Here it did a high, but not a higher high. Here it back tested and did a higher high. So again, it was clearer in the bear trap behavior on ETH than BTC, but anyways, we had this very swift lift last night. what I'm watching for in this lift is also this triangle formation that's happening here between this divergence line and this support line. So it is a triangle formation at the moment. It's meeting resistance at the moment. If I see any double top formation, the likes of this on the 1 hour, I would consider a short position. But at the moment, I don't have any 1 hour formation, and I am waiting for 1 hour formations because the 15-minute is too unreliable right now. It is choppy sideways. Better save my capital for a higher probability position, like a 1 hour swing rather than a 15-minute one. So what are the possible trade setups to be making this week? The first one would be, again, if I'm looking at short term, a double top, a formation down to the 26,500 support and resistance line. So that would be the first one. Okay, so that would be the first one. Second one, I would be looking for this move to continue down and maybe a double bottom here. Position. Okay. And I will color code this green. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit slow. I'm watching my XRP short position because it did some back tests there on the 1 hour, and I'm looking to see if the 1 hour will actually break down or not, or I'm looking to take some profit. Okay, again, this would be, I have two trade ones. So two options, because we are we don't show any structure on the 1 hour for topping out, but we don't show any structure for bottoming out. So maybe I should call it the initial trade rather than the trade one, but trade one, long on double bottom support. Now, I don't need to clutter this chart by telling you something that I've been telling you for the past weeks, because we have been in this consolidation for weeks now. If we break the 26.6, we are heading down to the 25K region. That 25K is a huge psychological region, and it's the technical target of this consolidation. I have it at 24.8, but I would be putting the target at 25 just to have it. The same, if we break the resistance, we're going to head up, and the target for that would be 30.8, 31K. somewhere between 30 and 32. Breaking the 32 for BTC would be huge, because that would mean we're actually entering peak formation. I'll show you what I mean on the daily. These lines always get wonky somehow. There's an interesting mechanism in trading view. There we go. Okay, so we are looking at this as being the peak formation, or we're looking at this here being the peak formation. So that would be 32 point, just a second, there we go, perfect, 32.5, which would be the peak formation territory. We have to see if that is gonna happen. We have to see if that's gonna happen. That's all I can tell you for now. So because we do have the MACD on the daily crossing down, it could flick up. I have seen this happen in the course of a day, the space of a day. This could flick up. So what the main message that I have for both coins in terms of trade setups, I won't be writing the shorts and the longs for BTC, because they're crystal clear from the chart. We hold support at 28.6. We're gonna be longing. We break support at 26.6. We're gonna be shorting, and we need to wait for back tests either way. And we have two possibilities for the initial trade: either double top on the 1 hour and we're shorting down, and again similarly to ETH, this is a 6.3 range. Even if we're getting 40% out of it, it's fast. It's fast profits, fast money. So why not take it? Now, my message for this week that is starting today is wait for structure. Wait for structure, wait for back tests. There's nothing wrong with missing the initial part of the move. This is what the market makers do as well. They go in while it's breaking resistance. So the times when they're generating that break of resistance is when they're organizing fake outs or traps. But in real, how can I say, in a real markup phase, they'll be going in when that resistance gets broken. So when retail money starts coming in. We don't have institutional money flowing into any of the coins at the moment. What happened with the DXY last night, I believe, is the root of this swift move upward. We can check again. We're back in the inverse correlation between the dollar and the coins. We need to wait to see what New York does. We need to wait for structure on the 1 hour. I would be waiting for that. XRP is a little bit different because of the lift that it did. So XRP at the moment is doing its correction, but BTC and ETH are still undecided, and again pretty much in the same sideways that we've been having our eyes on for the past month, almost month. No, sorry, it's not almost month, because we're only the 2nd of April, so it's 3 weeks. So that's my message. Wait for structure and wait for back tests. And before I let you go, I'll just have a quick view on the red flags. We have plenty of red flags this week. red flags this week. So we have the ISM manufacturing PMI today at 3 p.m. UK time. We have the JOLTS 3 p.m. tomorrow. We have the non-farm employment change tomorrow, 1:15, and then 3 p.m. ISM services PMI. We have the both for the US. Sometimes I get confused and I read the Canadian dollar. Thursday is quiet for now, and Friday is crazy. We have a lot of news at 1:30 p.m. So based on how many red flags we have today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, could we have choppy sideways, fluctuating up and down, really spiky? Yes, we could. We could have that, and that is one factor to keep in mind. And go for that structure. Please put in your TPs, your take profits, if you're doing trades this week, because this volatility could take us to those low average daily range or high average daily range in a flash. For instance, here we're closer to the high average than we are to the low average. We could go up there in a flash, do a double top structure there, and then come down. So if you have started longing at this double bottom on the 1 hour here, right in the middle of the range here, but it's a risky move. If you stuck to the 5%, happy days, you are in a nice profit long. Please have your profits in, because the volatility could take you there. No trading without stop loss or take profit, so as not to miss getting your money's worth. So plenty of volatility coming this week. I would be waiting for structure. I would be waiting for the news to hit 3 p.m. today. That means it's hitting right at the 5 o'clock my time, 3 p.m. candle UK time. The 3 p.m. candle is where the New York and the London session join, and it's great volume. So the end of the session, the end of one session and the beginning of another is when the market makers love to make the spikiest moves, and I would be mindful of that. That's all I have for you today. I know it's the middle of the middle, and that's all that I can say. I could, again, I tend, based on how I'm reading this, in my experience, this is consolidation for another push up. That's why I'm looking for a double bottom structure on the 1 hour. I think there will be a rug pull before that, so I'm waiting for those 26.6, even 26k levels to be tested. The 800 here on the 800 EMA on the 1 hour, or the 200 EMA on the 4 hour to be back tested, and that's where I'll be looking to take a position. I've seen these sideways levels way too long to know that they are going to be back tested. And just one final thought: we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and generally 6 is after the 6th one is where breakouts happen. Now we do have this initial swing, so we could argue that we have had 1, 2, 3 touches to the bottom, and 1, 2, 3 touches to the top, and we're ready for breakout, which might be the case, in which case again I have my capital ready for a long position. But this could drag on for this week, up and down, catching both short and long liquidities, especially the high leverage positions. I'll be in the chats for this week. Check in with me if you have any questions. Again, better safe than sorry. Anything can happen in the market. I wouldn't be trading without a stop loss or a take profit where we are right now. My final message. So I'll see you guys in the chats, and I'll be posting the trade setups after I'm done editing. Have a good day and a good week, and trade safely and successfully.